Psst, it's after midnight. Time to open back up the Midnight Archives. Our short the other night on Pliny the Elder and his natural history struck a nerve. It's hard to believe there may be a historical connection between dog-headed men of the past and sightings of them today. Was Pliny right? Here's more of my notes and a deeper look into the possible connection. In 1936, near Bray Road in Wisconsin, a woman driving home late at night saw something that would haunt her for the rest of her life. A creature, walking upright, with the body of a man and the head of a dog. She wasn't the first to see it, and she wouldn't be the last. But what if I told you that sightings of creatures exactly like this were documented nearly 2,000 years ago by one of the most credible scholars in human history? What if the Michigan dogman, the beast of Bray Road, and dozens of other modern sightings weren't new at all? What if they've been here all along? Before we dive into the evidence, I need you to consider something. The standard explanation for ancient reports of dog-headed men is simple: misidentification, mythology, travelers' tales spiraling out of control. But what if we've been too quick to dismiss these accounts? What if we're looking at this backwards? Instead of asking, why did ancient people believe in something that doesn't exist? What if we should be asking, what if they documented something that does exist, but we've lost the ability to see? The evidence is extensive. The witnesses are credible, and the descriptions are remarkably consistent across centuries, across continents, across cultures that never had contact with each other. Let me show you something that might change how you think about this. The year is 77 AD. The place is the Roman Empire. A man named Pliny the Elder publishes the most comprehensive encyclopedia of the ancient world, 37 volumes covering everything known to humanity. But this wasn't just any author. No, you see, Pliny the Elder was a Roman cavalry commander, a lawyer and provincial governor, personal advisor to Emperor Vespasian, a man obsessed with truth. And on August 24th, 79 AD, he died proving it. When Mount Vesuvius erupted, Pliny didn't flee. He sailed toward the disaster. Why? His nephew, the only eyewitness, wrote. He was trying to bring help to many people and to study a phenomenon that was of great scientific interest. Pliny died on the shores of Pompeii, overcome by toxic gas, because he refused to turn back from pursuing knowledge. This is the man who documented the cynocephaly, also known as dog-headed men. A man who literally gave his life for truth. Would a man like that record something he didn't believe was real? The answer might surprise you. But since I've already mentioned Pliny and his credibility to you, here's what most people don't know. Pliny the Elder wasn't the only one. He wasn't even the first. The reports of dog-headed men go back centuries before Pliny, and they continue for centuries after. Let me walk you through the evidence. 400 BC, Ctesias of Cnidus, a Greek physician at the Persian court. He writes about the cynocephaly, describing them as living in the mountains of India. Could he have been making it up? Maybe. But Ctesias also accurately described Indian wildlife, customs, and geography that were later confirmed. His other observations were reliable. Why invent just this one thing? 300 BC, Megasthenes, Greek ambassador to the Mauryan Empire in India. He personally traveled to Indian courts, and he reported the same thing: dog-headed men in the mountain regions. Two sources, different time periods, both claiming direct knowledge of India, both reporting the exact same creature. 77 AD, Pliny the Elder. On many of the mountains, there is a tribe of men with heads of dogs who clothe themselves with wild beast skins. Instead of speech, they bark, and furnished with claws, they live by hunting and catching birds. Notice something? These aren't vague descriptions. These are detailed ethnographic observations. Specific location, mountain regions. Social structure, they live in tribes. Communication method, barking language. Technology, they hunt, they use tools. Even their clothing, wild animal skins. This reads like a field report, not a myth. These reports don't stop with Pliny. They continue for over 1,000 years. And some of the witnesses actually went to the regions they're describing. Let me paint you a picture of what these ancient sources are describing, because the consistency is striking. The cynocephali are described as standing upright like men, bodies covered in hair or fur, heads unmistakably canine. Most sources specify wolf-like or dog-like features. Strong, muscular builds, clawed hands capable of using primitive tools. Living in remote, mountainous regions. Organized into tribal groups or packs, communicating through barking sounds. Aggressive when encountered, primarily nocturnal. Excellent hunters. Now, does any of this sound familiar to you? If you've followed modern cryptid sightings, you might notice something. The Michigan dogman, the beast of Bray Road, the Wisconsin werewolf. Modern witnesses describe upright walking canine creatures, muscular, human-like bodies, dog or wolf-like heads, spotted in remote, forested areas, moving in ways that seem intelligent, deliberate, primarily nocturnal. The descriptions are nearly identical, separated by 2,000 years. Same creature, but the ancient evidence doesn't end with Pliny, because 1,200 years later, one of history's most famous explorers would report seeing them himself. The year is 1292. The place is the Andaman Islands, Indian Ocean. Marco Polo, one of the most famous explorers in history, is making his way back home after 24 years in Asia. He's seen things no European has witnessed in centuries. The court of Kublai Khan, the cities of China, the breadth of the Mongol Empire. His accounts of Asian geography, culture, and trade would prove remarkably accurate. And then he writes this: they are all idolaters. They are a most brutish and savage race, having heads and teeth like dogs. Their heads are very large, and their eyes are very big. They live in the mountains. Marco Polo, a witness who actually traveled to the region, describing the same creatures that Ctesias, Megasthenes, and Pliny described, in the same location, with the same features. The standard explanation is that Marco Polo was simply repeating what he'd read in ancient texts. But consider this. Marco Polo got so many other things right. He accurately described Chinese currency systems, Mongol military tactics, Asian animals that Europeans had never seen before, trade routes and cities, cultural practices. Why would he accurately report everything else, but uncritically repeat mythology about the cynocephali? Or, what if he reported the cynocephali for the same reason he reported everything else? Because he was told they existed by people who lived there, or because someone in his expedition actually saw them. And the evidence doesn't stop in the 1200s. 200 years later, scholars were still documenting them, not as myths, as fact. In the year 1493, in Nuremberg, Germany, the printing press has revolutionized information. The world is in the Renaissance, and one of the first major printed books, the Nuremberg Chronicle, includes detailed illustrations and descriptions of the known world. And there they are, the cynocephali, drawn with the same care and detail as Germans, Italians, any other peoples of the world. This isn't fantasy art. This is geography. This is ethnography. These scholars, educated men in the age of early science, are documenting the cynocephaly as real peoples inhabiting real regions of the world. And they're not alone. Multiple medieval maps show the locations of cynocephaly territories. Church documents debate whether they have souls. Legal texts discuss their nature. For over 1,400 years, from Ctesias in 400 BC to the Nuremberg Chronicle in 1493, these educated observers documented the existence of dog-headed men, generation after generation. Different cultures, different languages, different time periods, all describing the same thing. At what point does persistent testimony become evidence? But here's what makes this truly compelling. The sightings didn't stop in 1493. They continue to this day. (1936), Bray Road, Wisconsin. A woman sees something that shouldn't exist. Then in 1987, Luther, Michigan. A radio DJ receives dozens of calls about a creature spotted in the woods, something walking upright with the head of a dog. The Michigan dogman becomes a legend. But the sightings don't stop. Wisconsin, the beast of Bray Road. Multiple witnesses ongoing. Michigan, the Michigan dogman. Hundreds of reports since the 1800s. Wisconsin again, the werewolf of Walworth County. Kentucky, the Kentucky Wolfman, Maryland, the Dwyo. Arkansas, the Fouke monster. Partial descriptions match. Different locations, different witnesses, different decades. But the descriptions, ancient sources say, upright walking, dog or wolf-like head, human-like body, found in remote areas, intelligent behavior, often near mountains or deep forests. Let's compare. Modern witnesses report, upright walking, dog or wolf-like head, human-like body, found in remote areas, intelligent behavior, often near mountains or deep forests. The same creature, 2,000 years apart. Now, I'm not saying I have all the answers, but consider this possibility. What if the cynocephaly were never mythological? What if they were, and are, a real species? A species that evades human contact, lives in remote, inaccessible regions, has learned to stay hidden as human civilization expanded, surfaces occasionally when their territory is encroached upon. The ancient witnesses found them in the Himalayan mountains, some of the most remote terrain on Earth. Modern witnesses find them in the forests of North America, the last wilderness areas on the continent. What if they're not extinct? What if they just moved? As humans explored India, they retreated deeper into the wilderness. As Europeans colonized North America, they found new territories, vast, forested, largely unexplored. We're still discovering new species every year, large mammals we never knew existed. In 1992, that's 1992, we discovered the saola, a cow-sized mammal in Vietnam. We had no idea it existed. In 2003, we confirmed the existence of the billy ape in the Congo, a chimp variant that was considered mythology until we had photographic proof. If we can miss a type of cow and a great ape, what else are we missing? So where does this leave us? We have ancient testimony, multiple sources spanning centuries. We have medieval documentation, scholars treating them as geographic fact. We have modern sightings, consistent descriptions, credible witnesses. The skeptical explanation is simple. Mass misidentification, cultural transmission of myth, the power of suggestion. People see what they expect to see. Ancient travelers repeated each other's stories. Modern witnesses are influenced by folklore. And maybe that's true. But what if we've been too quick to dismiss what we can't explain? What if Pliny the Elder, a man who died pursuing truth, documented something real? What if Marco Polo, a reliable observer of the known world, accurately reported something from the unknown world? What if the witnesses on Bray Road in the Michigan woods, in the remote forests of Wisconsin, are seeing the same thing ancient travelers saw? We've only explored a fraction of the Earth's remote regions. The deep forests, the mountain caves, the places humans rarely go. There are vast territories where something could hide, where something could live for thousands of years. The ancient evidence is there. The modern sightings continue. The descriptions match. The cynocephaly, the dogmen, same creature, different name? Or are we missing something entirely? Pliny the Elder died chasing knowledge into the heart of a volcano. He spent his life documenting the world as accurately as he could, and he believed, truly believed, that dog-headed men existed in the remote mountains of India. Was he wrong? Maybe they're just better at hiding than we are at finding, and so the mystery remains. What do you think? Are the cynocephaly real? Are modern dogman sightings connected to ancient reports? Or is there another explanation we haven't considered? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you love ancient mysteries and unexplained phenomena, subscribe for more. And remember, just because something hasn't been proven doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Some things are still out there, waiting to be found. I'll see you later with a story I will only tell after midnight.